finally made a video for once. Today I'm reviewing Ransomware Dating Sim, a game very few people have played. Like, this is probably the most obscure game I've ever reviewed. As in, my live stream of it is the first video of it on YouTube. Yeah, how's that for a world premiere Game Awards? You might be wondering how I even managed to come across it. Well, believe it or not, the dev, Erdy, sent me a Steam key. That's a first for me, and I'm kind of flattered, but at the same time...
You must be truly desperate to come to me for help.
I've only got 7,000 subs, but hey, no one else played it in the 2 weeks between me getting the game and live streaming it, so, exclusive content? Are you lonely? Wishing you could find love? Of course you are, but no one has time to find a partner IRL, leaving the house. Pfft. No need with Physiosoft's revolutionary new dating simulator. But this isn't any ordinary dating sim. In this game, you'll be matched up with computer programs looking for love. Those programs being viruses and, of course, ransomware. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't totally get the hook of this game. It's one of those quirky titles with a bit of a dark side. Kind of Doki Doki Literature Club style, but that comparison feels a bit wrong. There's no external file digging required, at least as far as I can tell. File extraction isn't my forte anyway. So much for fixing the translation of Wolf and Rabbit. Unlike most dating sims I play, this game wasn't made in Ren'Py, but Unity. Anyway, even starting the game is a bit confusing, but these titles don't actually mean anything, they're just save files. And as far as I know, both exit buttons are the same. Whatever. The game itself is set in a sandboxed virtual machine, and if you don't know what that is, this game might not be for you. That's not gatekeeping, it's just this game is full of tech terminology, and it can be rather verbose. Anyone who doesn't care for tech speak or philosophy will probably get bored of it real fast. So this virtual desktop is watched over by Upsy, this bee. She explains that you'll be taking part in a sort of dating game show spanning several rounds, over which the contestants will be eliminated one by one, either by your removal of them or other means. There were initially meant to be 9 programs, but just before it starts, Upsy discovers that a 10th contestant has snuck into the game. How mysterious. Best to make sure you don't accept any unsafe files. There's also points. Don't worry about the points. So let's introduce these programs looking for love. There's Lucy 2, Resident Goth GF, Original Sin, who would probably berate me for being bad at COBOL, Lovey Buggy, a program so yandere she makes me look normal, DL Pitsu, a suave mustachioed Clippy knockoff with a hatred for Norwegians, CryptoWares, I don't know, they do Bitcoin? They seem to like you the more you piss them off. What kind of dairy is that? Sunny Times, who's basically Flowey from Undertale after a college-level intro to philosophy course, Veronixa, a porn bot that escaped Tumblr, Crown Prince 73, aka Mr. Steal Yo Grandma's Money, Rucats, who is a wordy worm troll that I do not care for, and Best Date, the only person currently working at BuzzFeed. Of course, you can increase a program's interest in you by choosing the right dialogue options in conversation, but you can also increase it by changing the background or selecting certain music. Although it hardly seems to matter when the programs just change those on their own anyway. Honestly, the music in this game kinda sucks, and I'd consider Electroplasm to be the only track worth listening to. I'm guessing these came from a royalty-free music library or something. You might as well just mute it. Not like there's voice acting or anything. At the start, the game is pretty entertaining with all these silly personalities and technical jargon. It's something that you definitely haven't seen before, and it's interesting. The concept of skipping the pretense of dating sims and straight-up dating computer programs is quite novel, but the gimmick gets dull after a couple hours, and then the game starts to feel like it's overstaying its welcome. Now, my first playthrough took about 3.5 hours, and I was pretty bored by the end of it, although that was a live stream, and those take longer because of chat. But it wasn't just the chat. In my second playthrough, I realized the game takes longer to get through because you have to talk to every program in every round. It's not like other dating sims where you can just ignore the characters you're not interested in. You have to go through every program's dialogue, which kind of ruins any potential replay value. Sure, you can choose different things to see a few different outcomes, but the initial dialogue is the same, and there's no skip button for text you've already seen. Reasons why Ren'Py will always be the apex for dating sim development. Another slowdown is the mini-games. There's a claw machine game that is weird and barely works, though that's probably on purpose. I found it easiest to catch the items on top of the claw rather than grab things with it. It's just annoying to play, and you have to play it for every program, which means when it first appears in session 4, you have to play it 6 times. And it returns in session 7, where you have to play it 6 more times. Also, don't pick up the donut, it will kill you. You'll get an achievement for it, but you'll have to start the session over because, by the way, the game only saves at the end of every session. Great. Same thing happens if you share files with any of the programs. Should've used protection. The next minigame is Pong. Yes, Pong. They call it virtual tennis, but you know, it's Pong. You have to play Pong until you or the program gets 7 points. 6 times. This is kind of weak, right? Like seriously, Pong? Is this like commentary on something or a reference I'm not getting? Because it feels like this is just to fill time. It's so dull. Maybe it's making fun of soulless dating sims that waste your time. I don't know, but I was so over it by the second game. Yeah, the AI cheats and it's kind of funny, but unless you just let them win, it drags on forever. Maybe that's the point. After all that, eventually, you might just get to finish the game with a program of your choosing. If you survive, all the other programs are like, this is BS, and fight you in a bland turn-based system. But if you made enough correct choices with the programs, some of them will like you too much to fight you, so that's cool. Even with all that though, the ending was kind of underwhelming. Like most of the game. To be blunt, I'm unimpressed with Ransomware. I keep feeling like maybe I played this game wrong. Like it's one of those experimental kind of games where if you play it normally, it's boring, but if you do a bunch of random shit you'd never do while playing a game and treat it like some kind of puzzle or ARG, it's super fascinating. I mean, the game does have this darker, glitchy edge to it. What's the deal with Upsy? Why can't any of the programs leave? Why does more than one of them claim to be the 10th contestant? I feel like if I did something different or followed a specific path, this crazy plot twist would be unveiled. But I honestly don't have the energy to look for the meaning behind it. I gave it 2 playthroughs and that's all I'm willing to do. If Ransomware ever gets popular, game theory can have at it because I just can't be bothered. I'm not saying this game is horrible. I wouldn't even put it in the top 5 worst dating sims I've played, but it's very niche. If you're a tech geek or programmer who might be looking forward to dating a robot someday, maybe this is for you. Unfortunately, I can't recommend this game to most other people. The writing can be difficult to get through, and it wastes a lot of time with the minigames. Overall, not great. It's really cool that the devs sent me a key, and I do appreciate it. This is Erdy's first solo game, and I see potential here, so I hope they can improve and make some better games in the future. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.